Hello, welcome to StoneShard. This will be a guide for the early game, the mid game, and the end game. This also will feature all of the followers, all of the caravan followers, plus all of the upgrades for the caravan. As you can see, it looks quite nice. It really feels like this is alive. This is a great update. So let's go over the basic stuff and then we'll go over the advanced stuff. So what should you build in the beginning of the game? What are the most necessary structures? And then we'll speak about the caravan followers because they have a lot of information as well to share with us. In the beginning, if you want to have no more problems with the food and other issues, I really recommend you have the chicken coop. You can kill the chickens for meat as well, but I don't recommend you do this because the chickens will spawn back very slowly if you have a few eggs. I'm not sure if they will spawn back if you don't have any eggs in the chicken coop, so I don't know, it's just better not to kill them. Also, all of the eggs will fill up until this over here, so they'll never go to the third row over here, the third column. So you might as well eat the eggs as soon as possible. Also, as a minor tip, don't roast the eggs because you don't get as much food from them. So roasting them, let me show you. Give you 8 in total. Use this one over here, use the fry eggs, which will be a lot better because it will give you 10 hunger, energy restoration, hunger resistance, and you can also use an additive. Delicious. What is the second upgrade or the second tier of upgrades you should go for? Well, this is a bit of a, how should I put it, a bit of a controversial thing, but I think most people will go for the web of contracts over here because this is a major thing. You can kill enemies and you'll get some reputation. Sometimes you know when you need 10 reputation to get to the next tier of reputation and settlement, well, this will fix the problem. And after you get this one, a web of contracts, I really recommend you get this one, old favors. Which means if you complete the contracts when you have negative events on the locations, you'll get more reputation. Let me see. Yeah, like this one over here, Pestilence. Oh, nice. Human receives a visit from Hunter, so you can also get some good events as well. Now, why is this so important? Because it will allow you to increase your reputation on settlement so much faster, plus the extra day for the contracts. And this also ties into the way contracts work right now. If you ask for more money, the contract will be only for 1 day available. And I think this will extend it by another day, but it will not be shown over there. So again, I really wish the developers would fix stuff like this. But if you want, well, I guess this will be for another day because I have a lot of tips to give you. I think this will extend basically the contracts where you ask for more money to 2 days, but I'm not sure because it doesn't display it as 2 days. Anyway. And this can be very important as well, to just get everything going so you can buy better stuff, so you don't need to worry as much about stockpiling money and not having something to spend it on. And this is for the mid game, this is the early game, this is for the mid game. Local informants is such a huge update, and it basically changes the way you play the game, because if you go over here you'll see Blasphemous Ritual. Sadly it doesn't tell you what the thing does, but I assume it's the summoning of blood golems. Anyway, it will allow you to see what the special effects will be on the dungeon, if there are any effects. And you know what the problem is? There will be certain special conditions like the trapped entrance, which might be an instant kill. Why is that? Because if you enter the dungeon, you will see 4 or 5 enemies in front of you, and guess what? You cannot go out until you go to the second floor of the dungeon and find the lever, press the lever, and then the door will open. So you basically have to use the second floor entrance as a way to filter the mobs in case you get overrun, but no. You need to know about these things, otherwise it can be a very hard dungeon to complete. And if it has something like this, you need more supplies as well. Restless spirits. Not sure what this means, probably spawns more ghosts overall. Wow, that's a lot of trapped entrances, but now that you know about them, you can safely avoid all of the issues with that. Okay, so this is for the early game, and this is kind of like for the mid game. And after you do these 2 upgrades to the cooking and the chicken coop, and then over here to the communication, what is the next thing I recommend? Well, this is a bit of an issue over here, but it depends on your playstyle. I recommend, well, this is a little based on your preferences. If you want to use the Caravan a lot more, you'll definitely need the sturdy wheels, the iron-bound wheels, because of the fodder, you use less fodder plus the less duration to rest. Basically, you'll travel faster and you will set up camp faster. And fitting a counterments is kind of interesting because it also, as you can see, reduces the fodder consumption and the caravan speed. So this will be very, very important. And then what is the next upgrade you should worry about? Well, I recommend you get the praying spot because this is a huge bonus. You can access it all the time and it lasts for half of the day. As you can see, it's not so big overall, but you get +1 damage to sacred, a little bit of unholy resistance, plus 5% experience gain, which is kind of big in the early game, so that's why you should think about taking it. And after that, I recommend you upgrade the bed one more time, and then maybe you should go for the soothing incense. I guess it also depends on how much you know the game and how well you can manage the sanity and the morale. But definitely the praying spot is the next thing you should get, and that's kind of it for the basic upgrades that you need. So over here the chicken coop, over here the web of contracts and the all favors, and then get local informants if you are having problems knowing the special conditions. Then get this two over here with the range and the fodder consumption, which will help a lot in decreasing the tedious aspect of the game. And then the praying spot, of course the modest tent will also be very, very useful. And then if you can, get the soothing incense because it will be useful to restore your sanity and morale, and you'll have to sleep in the camp, which is not as easy as it sounds. And that's kind of it. Now let's go over all of the upgrades what they do. Workbench. You can build stuff in your base over here. It's very important to build it early on if you can, because it will allow you to get a lot of experience by using crafting. But this is a tip and a guide for another video how you can make much more experience with the crafting. It might not seem like a lot in the beginning, but trust me, it's a lot. Because you can craft a lot of stuff, especially after you learn a few recipes. You can make the bedrolls, the bandages, the splints, the rope, the throwing nets, the lockpicks, the smoke bombs, the herbal extracts, antitoxins, and so many other things which will give you a huge amount of experience overall, especially in the beginning and especially if you have a certain survival skill. Well, I guess I can show you. So this is actually kind of deceiving because the workbench can be amazing because you can also stockpile a lot of resources in your caravan, which will allow you to craft more and more things, which will allow you to basically save money and get a lot of free experience. Foraging table. Well, foraging table is more or less tied to the herbal remedies, which is tied to restoring your health and some other stuff as well. But what this does is give you a few herbal stuff over here, like a, I don't know, just a random plant over here, a berry and maybe a mushroom, which can be helpful for cooking and some other stuff, or just making fodder. Not as useful as it sounds. It's definitely one of the more lackluster upgrades you can get. Cooking is amazing because you can have a lot of complex recipes which will restore your sanity. Plus, it's very easy to use this because let's say you want to have some meat. You can just get a few vegetables, buy them, or get mushrooms from the forest, and then you can make the meat skewer, which is the same thing. This is basically free food. But if you look at a little closer, you'll see that you have a large meat, the honeycomb and leek onion or garlic. You also make the honeyed glazed ham, which is amazing because it even gives you weapon damage and some other stuff. If you really want to go into cooking, as you can see, you can get some great stuff, especially because you can even get less fumble chance and even extra experience with some of the stuff. Anyway, but that's another video for another day of the cooking. Talk about the chicken coop, I'll talk about alchemy. Special spices now. As you can see, this cooking will replenish morale, but if you have the spices it will replenish sanity. If you have the upgrades for the bed, like the herbal remedies and some of the other stuff, they will definitely help you recover a lot faster, especially because you'll get sanity and morale from sleeping, sanity and morale from cooking, which is a huge benefit. I'm not sure if this is working properly. Some people say this is not working properly, but from what I can tell, it's working properly because it doesn't extend the spoil time, it just adds an invisible timer on top of it. So I tested out the pancakes. The pancakes are in this inventory for 2 days, so they still say it's 5 days because it will add, let's say 75%, which is let's say 3 days on top of the 5 days. It will actually be 8 days. It's an amazing upgrade to the caravan that will allow you to stockpile all of the food you need from a location, So for example, you stockpile food from, let's say, Osbrook, and then you go to Rotten Willow and do all of the quests there and just feed on the supplies you have with you, because food there is not only expensive but also kind of hard to get. We spoke about the praying spot, can be amazing. You can also find these spots in the wall like that over there. Definitely a big bonus to your character. We spoke about the soothing incense. Again, this is more like a luxury item if you think about it. It depends on how well you know the game. If you know the game pretty well, you'll never sleep too much in the base anyway. The tent upgrades are really necessary in the beginning, because if you have a bad run or if you need a quick heal, yeah, you're going to need this. Especially reducing fatigue, because fatigue is a huge problem in the beginning of the game. Now the roomy tent upgrade is not as good as it sounds, but having 1800 vigor duration is definitely a lot better. And don't just think about it like it is over there. Let me see. I forgot where it was, but there's definitely a lot of extra bonuses you can get to vigor, as you can see over here from these two skills. And there's also an update, I forgot which one, where if you rest you don't... See? My vigor doesn't go down, so if you rest while having that... I don't remember where it is, sorry, probably in Survivor. As you can see, it will not drain your vigor buff. So this actually is a lot better than it sounds in a way, but it's definitely for the end game when you have a lot of money. Training area is a bit of an annoying thing, because sometimes Varen will go from this area over here to this area over there, and sometimes if it's dark you will not see him. If you're wearing a very fat helmet, a very heavy helmet, you will not see him. So I'm debating never building the dummies again, just because it makes Varen wander away over there and he's harder to spot. So yeah, I think the dummies are the most useless thing in the game currently, and I don't understand the idea behind them, because they offer no benefit and they mostly annoy you with Varen going over there. Hellbar remedies, yeah, we spoke about them. It's more or less by providing you other bonuses. So this will be 100% effective at restoring health and body part condition plus immunity. So as you can see, you have a way to restore sanity, morale and immunity just by sleeping, which is amazing. Paired with cooking and some of the other stuff. So this basically fixes all of your problems. Now, over here the traveling upgrades. Like I said, these three over here are kind of mandatory if you really want to use the caravan, otherwise you'll not be able to go to the distant location one after the other. Probably this is also very important, because the caravan race duration, sometimes you will travel for 2 hours and you need more time to set up the caravan. So distance might be 2 hours, but setting up the caravan might be 4 hours, which means your stats get drained, which means in case you got the blessing by accident, you will need to wait until it's gone anyway. The idea is that we'll need these in the beginning a little later, but once you have money, it's definitely worth investing in them, because you don't need to use as much fodder. Over here, the custom-made gear, for me it was the last upgrade I got, but as you can see, it further reduces the caravan's duration, plus increasing the range, which will allow you to explore the whole map. And this is an upgrade that is basically the endgame stuff, and it will allow you to, let's say, travel from Menshire, the last breath, or to the roadside cemetery. It will allow you to travel much further away. See how annoying it is to go after Varen in this area. As you can see, it's 7 hours to go over there, which is amazing. Picking up camp, why is that so much? I guess it's because it's in the wood, 15 hours. Interesting, but as you can see, you can go from basically one corner of the map to the other. So yeah, definitely think about it if you want to explore the whole map and do the dungeons and just have a lot of utility on the whole map. As for the spacious chest and some of the other stuff, I recommend you only go for the 2 tiers of upgrades for the chest, because you don't really need more than that. As you can see here, I just keep all of my money bags, my fodder, some of the potions, healing potions, some of the unique items. Cannot do anything with the recipes for now, but I just keep them around. Maybe I'll sell them, or I don't know, for collection purposes. Unique artifacts are over there. Over here, I just keep all of my crafting materials. As you can see, you need a lot of them, and to be honest, I can throw all of this away right now because I don't need it anymore. So it's definitely only for the beginning. Over here, I just keep the medical supplies and also a lot of bedrolls. So you can probably make do with 2 of them, because you'll definitely not need all of this, so this can be your second one. Also keep over here the stuff that will give me permanent bonuses. Well, not permanent bonuses, but long-lasting bonuses at some point. Plus the food, plus the other stuff. And over here, I just keep all of the stuff I want to sell to merchants. So definitely have a tab where you just keep all of the things you want to sell, because it's very damaging for your money situation to, for example, have Osbrook at max respect and then have Manshire only at the minimum respect needed. So you do all of the quests, let's say in Manshire, and then you go back to Osbrook and sell all of it slowly, because you want to sell only to the people that actually give you a favorable price. Favorable price is 2. Of course, that will not be in green. Kind of cool how this works. Yeah, so definitely you can sell the other stuff in the other cities as well, but try to sell where you have the best prices, because there's nothing to really, I don't know, pressure you. Also, when you're speaking with the merchant, you'll see over here another tab, which is your inventory, and this will be the caravan menu. So if you switch from the inventory, the caravan menu, you can sell everything that is in the caravan, so you don't need to take the items with you to sell them. Which is a great feature in my opinion. Basically, you can stop over here at the second caravan storage. Most people will not need more than 2. Over here we already explained some of these things. Web of contracts and all favors are amazing, and then the local informants. The only one that I don't really understand what is the point is this one. You can earn some reputation if you do it like this, but I see commerce, 21 reputation, but the increase in commerce is not that big, and I guess you can sell some of the stuff you find in other dungeons, but you can also just buy stuff from other places to sell them. I guess if you want to max out Breen faster, or if you want to max out a certain faction faster, you also need that one. Let's speak about the pigeons a little bit. The messenger pigeons are actually an amazing feature of the game, and people overlook them. They are super useful in the beginning of the game. As you can see, if you take out the cage, it will spawn in 3 days. So, how do you use the carrier pigeons? Well, simply you are here in, let's say, Manshire. Then you want to do a quest, let's say, in Osbrook. But you cannot travel with the caravan because it's on cooldown or something. Well, then you go to Osbrook, take the carriage, Old Tooth or whatever his name is. Take the carriage and move over here, and when you arrive in Osbrook, for example, you can summon you apply them and it will summon the caravan over there. So it's kind of a dirty trick in my opinion if you use it like this, but it definitely gets the job done if you use it like this. But it can also be used, for example, you just arrived in Manshire, and then you travel by foot, let's say in a location like the Signal Tower or to Breen by foot, sadly. Then you can summon the caravan over there, so this will allow you to not waste any time. Also, you can drop it and it basically can kill the pigeon to have a meat morsel, which is a bit annoying. Also, if you want more of this stuff, what I recommend you do is just get a cage in your backpack, do a mission, whatever the mission is, and when you come back over here, it will have another pigeon. So basically, the pigeons will only spawn if you take out the first pigeon. I'm not sure how many you can stack, but I think you can stack about 4 or 5, I don't know, until they stop spawning. Which will allow you to have a stockpile of pigeons, which will allow you to travel more and do a lot more stuff. Anyway, just experiment a little bit with it. It's actually a very good mechanic. Very useful in the beginning. And that's about it for the caravan stuff. Very underrated. Also, when you kill the troll, you get a flag. It's a direct upgrade. I don't think I can show you. Okay, let's change the flag. Because I think that's the only way to showcase it. The flag has its own bonuses, but I suspect the developers will add a lot more flags and a lot more other things to change as you play more of the game. As you can see, the normal flag doesn't give... Well, the normal flag gives you 5% reputation gain, and I think that's it. So this one is free health restoration and free energy restoration. That's such a cool mechanic. So the one from the troll will give you will just give you the health energy restoration, which is kind of cool, but I suspect there might be more flags. Currently I read the Wikipedia and there's nothing about more flags. I suspect they'll add a lot more flags in the future, or there might be a secret somewhere that will give you a flag or something like that. Which is great. Wow, 20 minutes about all of the caravan upgrades, okay. Now let's speak about the caravan followers. Now this is a bit of a tricky discussion as well, because you will get a lot of options in the beginning, and as you can see, all of this will cost a lot of money. So when you should get the followers? Well, I think you should get the followers after you have the chicken coop. And over here the old favors, and you have started going into the upgrades for the caravan over here. If you don't use the caravan a lot, don't bother with getting the companions. What is the companion you should get first? The first companion you should get is Daryl, the craftsman, because he'll allow he'll repair stuff for you, and he'll also sell some interesting things. The second one should be Alda, because she basically can give you some extra food, she'll give you some pelts. You can also send her to hunt and she'll give you some other pelts and you can sell them. And lastly, it's Leaf, the quartermaster. Leaf seems like he's the most useless one, but at the same time he's one of the better ones as well. So in my playthrough I took Leaf first, but somehow he was almost the last one to level up to fully. So you just keep them around the fireplace and... Okay, this is the bad part. You need to pass in-game time for their relations to grow on you. So basically, as you can see, it's not really 100%, but at 100% you just get better prices if you sell stuff to them, and 20% per cost, meaning they'll do their services a little faster. So yeah, just pass the time, just travel with them. I think I needed about this might be an exaggeration, but you might need 50 hours in order to get to 75% with all of them. And I also recommend you get one after the other when you start getting the companions, because it's such a slow grind to get them to 75%. Kind of annoying, but what can you do? Let's speak about Leaf. What does he do? He has personal training. He has logistics, which is kind of cool because it lowers the fodder consumption even more. It increases the follower stock size, which is definitely what you need, otherwise they barely have anything to sell you. And over here, he supply run. That's exactly what it says it does. Now let's speak about his training. His training is actually super expensive for the beginning of the game. It will only last an entire day. Now what's my favorite one? Well, my favorite one is agility. A day in game is 2,880 turns. So 2,900 turns is a full day basically. I don't know what the math is, it just is. So these are the bonuses you can get. As you can see, it's counter chance, minus fumble chance, backfire chance, minus experience gain 5%. What are the other things he can give you? Well, let me read to you the other stuff he can help you with. Train. And if I don't mention what the percentage is, that means it's 5%. So for example, strength training will give you weapon damage, armor penetration, experience gain 5. And body part damage 10%. So unless I specifically say what the number is, it will be 5%. So that can be amazing because you get a lot of damage. You get body part damage, armor penetration, and weapon damage plus experience. Agility is what I showed you. Perception is accuracy. Crit chance, which is amazing because having crit chance can be super useful. Miracle chance, experience gain. Endurance is just energy restoration 10%, cooldown duration minus 10%, which is great. Experience gain and fatigue resistance plus 10%. So as you can see, the training can be a massive help, especially when you're going into a harder dungeon or a quest or the troll or the bosses. Definitely take one of his trainings when you do harder things. And you can also restock, but to be honest, you need them to have higher relation with you. I don't think there's a direct correlation, but let's just explain it like this. Their inventory stock will only grow to a considerable size only after you have the quartermaster at 75%. Otherwise, they barely have anything. And the prices are not bad, so when you get to 100%, this will even get better. Now, what should you buy from him? Well, I guess he is the one that will give you the medical supplies. Sometimes we'll have salted food, which is great because it never spoils. Plus, the medicine prices are not so bad when you level it up a little more. And he'll also give you the backpack. The backpack is a huge upgrade to your items. Let me compare it to the normal one I kept for this exact purpose. Hey kids, count with me. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. That's 20 slots you get with a normal backpack. This is the backpack, not the knapsack. So it's the second backpack. And over here we'll have 9, 18, 27, 46. That's a huge number of extra slots you'll be getting. Yeah, it's a little bit weird because it's a different shape and a different size, but it's a huge amount of space you'll just be getting for free. Definitely check out the backpack. He only gets it after he gets to 75%, but once he gets it, it's always in his inventory. So if you lose it, you can buy it again. Kind of a neat little thing. Okay, let's go for the craftsman. And why did I say the craftsman has to be first? Well, because of his bonuses. He can basically... Oh no, that's so expensive. I think it's about 1000 coins to do the forced march. And it's not really that good. I never ever recommend you to do the forced march. Never do it because it's such a waste of gold in the beginning of the game and you need a lot of it. It's so annoying. Caravan speed, as you can see, this will help a lot because if you have less fodder consumption, plus more caravan speed, it will allow you to arrive faster in a location. Safe routes. This is the fun one. Caravan trade range, which is the caravan... Okay, let's explain it like this. So if the range is free, I think you can put your caravan over here and it will still trade with the city. Now don't quote me on this because I never tried it, but you can basically put the caravan, let's say, over here. So you go to the city, you take the quest, you go over here, you... I don't know, I guess there might be a hidden point to all of this, but I don't understand why you have caravan trading range. Doesn't seem like it's very good. Ingenuity. For a price can increase the maximum durability of a chosen piece by say 25%. Each item can only be worked on once. Oh boy, this is the interesting one. As you can see, my helmet has 507. Now, big warning. If you increase the durability of an item, you might increase the repair cost as well. So, take all of this with a grain of salt. As you can see, I can increase the durability of all items, which is great. I can get a few more money. I'm completely broke. No more money. Let's slow the game then. I think it might increase the repair cost because the game will consider the item having more durability as being of a higher tier. So definitely be very careful when you upgrade the durability on an item because it might make it more expensive to repair. I'll just assume you can upgrade the durability of your weapons as well. So this will be much more important when you have dungeons that are tier 4 and 5. Because your equipment will not just become rags, especially the weapons. That's a very good skill to have over there. Now Alda. You can send her to scout and she'll mark the places or the points of interest. And you also get pelts, which can be fox, boar, wolf. Anyway, sometimes you can get a lot of money. Now, what I recommend you do... For example, she also has some backpacks and some other stuff as well. She also sells bedrolls regularly and food, especially at 75%. Now, it doesn't say it anywhere, but at 75%, all of them, I think they increase their stocks. So you can either have some birds, some meat, some growable items, the bedrolls, and some of the other stuff. Now, let's see her backpack. And as you can see, this is a totally different size. 12. So this is only 24, so I guess it depends what you need to take with you. This is more or less dependent on what you want to do. For example, with this backpack you can take the bedroll in it, or you can actually take 2 bedrolls and then you can save the game and again just save before the dungeon, save after the dungeon. It can be really useful because then you also have some space for the looting, but you can see this backpack over here, I think they should give them different names. The backpack has more slots than the other one. Feels like I'm playing Outward. That's a very cool model. You only pick up the backpack if it's empty in your inventory. Yeah, I need to stop doing this. It just reminds me of Outward so much. Looks so cool. Anyway, you can have some extra food. Again, you have to cook it. You can add some. It's better eat because it's raw, because you can add additives. You can cook something else. You can make even the honey glazed ham. Means you technically you'd only need the honey to do it. It's great because honey actually has a long shelf life. I think it's 20 days in your caravan. With the bonus, it will be even longer than that, which will be just amazing for all of your utilities. Caravan range, again, this is to travel faster, to travel to further corners of the map. So basically, it will allow you to go from, well, let's say, Osbrook to Debris. It's kind of cool. Hunting secrets, butchering. Basically, you can get a pelt no matter what damage you used, and also killing animals grants you 50 extra experience. This is actually kind of an underrated skill over here, because it will add over here to the traits. This doesn't sound like much, but if you start killing wolves, if you start killing the moose, if you start killing some buffaloes, if you start killing some other stuff, you will actually get a lot of experience, because it will stack with the other bonuses. So 50% from this one, and if you have another 50%, you can basically get double the experience for killing the animals. Yeah, I don't want to get into details, but you can basically get a lot of experience by killing the animals, or just kind of drawing them into the cities or near the walls that have the crossbowmen in green. Ranger Brew. Now this is an interesting one, but it's a bit annoying as well, because you get a lot of bonuses, but this is again one of the things I recommend you only do for a boss fight, because otherwise it doesn't feel like it's worth it. I guess if you're going to do another harder dungeon, it will be worth it. Basically, minus fatigue change means you will have an entire day where you never go tired, because fatigue is actually a very big problem in the game right now, especially in the beginning. Fatigue will accumulate very fast, especially when you're using skill in a dungeon, which will mean you have a lot less energy available. But with this one, basically you get no fatigue build-up. Hunger resistance is also great, pain resistance is also great for a lot of things. Plus 10% experience gain, which can be also added on top of a lot of other stuff. So if you have the vigor, which is 5, you have the blessing, which is another 5, that's 10. You have the optimism, that's 15%. So that will be 25% extra experience just because you have the brew and some other stuff. You get it for free. I guess you just have to ask her for it. Doesn't seem to have any drawbacks, I guess. Okay, so it overrides the training. It does have a big drawback. You cannot use it with the training at the same time. It's fair, I guess, but... Wait, can you really... I'll use it at the same time. Anyway, I guess it doesn't really matter. No, I have to know. They don't have any money left. It's so bad being poor. Does any of these guys buy the fodder? I don't know, let's see. This is definitely something I forgot to check. No, I guess that would be kind of an exploit. Yeah, that would have been too cool if they would buy the fodder. So that's basically the caravan at max upgrades. And the floors at max upgrade as well. I mean, they might get extra stuff when they reach 100%. But it doesn't really matter, because I showed you all of the important stuff already, and all of their skills, their stats, what they do, and how well they can build the caravan itself. So as you can see, some of them will have more synergies with other upgrades, but mostly all of them are needed, but especially Daryl can be super useful, with a shout out to Leaf, which can basically give you everything you need. Now, if you're on the field for, let's say, 3 or 4 days, this might be enough food, plus the hunter, of course. And they also pair very well with some of the skills. Again, I'll not go into the details, but if you have survival, dexterity over here, plus the caravan upgrades, plus the food, you can basically survive forever with just the caravan. It is a great update to the game and a great upgrade to your character, because, well, this makes the game a lot easier to explore and to find all of the cool things that you need. Anyway, that's it for now. Bye bye.